Hello, hello. It's Snipes, and today I'm going to be streaming Headhunters versus Nerf Herders Game 3. The series is tied 1-1 at the moment, and we have Resistance versus FO. Metalbag is bringing Zori, Poe, Finn with 3PO, Talissandra with Proton Torpedoes, and ZZ with Proton Rockets and Lone Wolf, not the SL version. It's a very strong list. It can get not double taps, but double mods on, I believe, almost every single ship other than ZZ, but that depends on if Finn coordinates her. And then on FO side, we see another TIE Swarm, but it's a little bit different than the normal one you'd see. It has normal Kylo with the Ion Missile Optics build. Then we have Theta 4, a really good piece. This is the ship that you can force your opponent to reroll their attack dice if you have them in arc. So it's a defensive barrage rocket, effectively. Or saturation salvo is what it's called, but sat salvo almost always goes with barrage rockets. Then we have Backdraft. I haven't seen him used in forever, but he's the TIE SF where when his turret's facing backwards, he still gets the one additional dice that the other SFs won't get. Then we have Theta 3 with passive sensors, secret missiles, and first order tech. Her ability is she's able to get a green. If she has no green tokens, she's able to get an evade token. So you can take the lock, and you can either then get an evade, or you can passive sensors and choose to get the evade and then also the calculate because you would have had both. Secret missiles do require a lock though. And then finally we have the best TIE fighter in the entire game. It's Scorch with Determination, Fanatical, and Threat Sensor. I mean, for the value of 3 points, he's insane. You have a mini 5 dice proton rocket in there that's double modded. Yeah, we're on to turn 1. So let me get this fixed real quick. About 4 minutes off of the timer. Let me see if I can edit that. All right. We see the Resistance and FO taking their respective corners. The scenario, I believe, is Assault. It could be Salvage, but I didn't get to see what they rolled before they're already in. So we'll see if they bother taking actions, and if they don't, then I'll assume it's Assault and change it to it. One straight by Finn, and it is Salvage. All right. Seeing Theta 3 turn in, Most likely she won't be the one to pick it up. Maybe Backdraft will. Yep. So 1-1 on the crates. Seeing Scorch come on the outside. I don't hate the positioning here. I think if Resistance is able to get around this rock over here this turn, FO might have a hard time this coming turn because of how many torps there are. And Scorch is in a okay spot to go after Finn, but damaging Finn is a pain in the ass. Yeah, because depending on how fast this resistance list goes, you're going to want to go super quick with these ties to try and negate, or at least I would think negate proton torpedoes from Tally. Nice 3 bank. Could probably just boost. Sets you up for a 3 hard or another 2 bank the next turn. Going for the barrel roll. Okay. The boost would still be nice here. Does take it. One straight by Zori. Gonna see her pick up the crate. So it's 2-1 on the crates in favor of Headhunters. Another one straight. And Kylo rolled to get around the rock right there. Sets him up nicely to follow up with Scorch on the flank, or he can have Scorch turn in and go super fast with Kylo to try and punish Tally. So I think even if you can't stop Tally from getting a shot on you or like bumping her, you can at least maybe prevent her with a 5 straight from shooting a proton torpedo. 5 straight boost jam, of course. That's the end of round 2. So no shots quite yet, which I don't know that I've seen too many games in the second round recently where there hasn't been a shot in the second round. especially since objectives have been added. I feel like the engagement speeds up a little bit since there's things to fight for. I mean, that is true. I do tend to, in the games I see people do that, or I do it myself, where somebody's going fast. Then again, ZZ did do a fast maneuver. She just isn't near anybody because FO went on their little corner of the board. I guess that's you can compare it to that if you want. I'm just used to seeing them quickly, you know? Fam. Even if it's self-inflicted. All right. Shoko will be the first player for round 3. And Finn chooses to turn away. Going to coordinate tally the focus so she can have, at worst, a focus of 8, at best, the double modded Protorp. Yeah, the list is a bunch of Thai SFs. You have Backdraft, which you haven't seen in forever. Ever since the SLs came out, I think he's disappeared into the background because the SL FOs, I think, can do what Backdraft does, but better. And then you have Theta and Theta 3. So both Thetas, Backdraft, and then Scorch. I think a lot of what made the SFs feel special got taken away when all the Thai FOs got 3 dice guns anyways. For a point less. Interesting. We see the 3 bank instead of like a 2 hard or something. I'm a little worried for Finn this round. Everybody's pointed at him. Should still have a shot onto Theta, at least. I don't know that that focus boost fits, but I feel like you just try it, because if it does, that's awesome. So close. Yeah, the Resistance has really good initiative over this FO list, The hard part will be killing any of these TIE SFs before they get to do their stuff. You're tempted if you're tallied to take that target lock. At the same time, you're sitting in front of around 3 to 4 shots. Says, I don't care. Because I think if you were to have barrel roll boosted, you could have gotten out of the majority of them. That doesn't put you in an amazing position, but we're going for violence. Also, buddy, you have to start a ship facing off the board. It's just the best. It's the best way to not only gain all the information in the world, but just confuse your opponent. You get to see the entire board state before you get to choose where to go. Yeah, if Tally gets ionized, I think she probably won't, I mean, she might not die this turn, but she definitely will die the next turn. And I think you have to let her get ionized over spending your focus, because if you spend your focus, then you're taking 3 other shots past Kylo. I'm a little worried on her positioning because everything is facing her. If you can initiative kill Theta, I think you're in a decent spot. Bender, what makes that even more interesting is you can continue doing 2 hards down the board and just stay on that little line forever. And when you get to the corner, you just 2 hard and then 2 hard again. We see Theta spend the evade to not take damage from, I believe that was pose shot. For Kylo, I think you have to go into Tally. And that's a little worrying actually, because Tally might be in Scorch's bullseye. I think it's just out, but it's so close I can't tell. Because Kyle's a little shifted over. It does mean Tally has her ability. She can give herself the extra green dice on this, if she so desires. We see both spends, optics, and force. Does remember the ability. Will we see her use it here or save it for a later shot? Yep, just spending it for here. I don't hate this decision because then you're hopefully not needing to spend anything. And you get your double modded Protort. Okay, so you have to spend the focus to not be ionized or you lose your lock. Spends the focus, takes a shield, and I think Tally's gonna have a really hard time living. If you can trade Tally for Theta, that's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Here's the plasma. Just gets over. So it'll be 3 after spending all the mods, into blanks. Theta takes 4. That'll be half points as well. I believe that's the wrong theta I'm deleting. Is that theta 3? The colors are all wrong. I'm sorry about that. Theta 4 is orange. Tally got 3 hits naturally, got the 4th one going into theta. So single modded Protorp still got 3 hits and a crit, and theta will blow up. Theta is gone. That's a really good proton torpedo for single modded. Backdraft is blue. Scorch doesn't matter, Kylo doesn't matter. Let me make sure these resistance ships are the right colors. Tally is red, and ZZ is yellow. Yeah. 2 hits coming from ZZ into a bunch of blanks, well, eyeballs. Backdraft will just choose to take the 1 damage. If you're FO, it sucks that you lost Theta, but if you can kill Tally in return, I think you're in an okay position to flank with Scorch and Kylo. Spends the focus. Tally's fine. Does not have bullseye. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Theta 4, the one you would want to be forcing the rerolls, was out of arc of Tally and Zori. So we'll see another 2 for metal and 1 for Shoko in objective points. Theta 3 is dead without having ever got to shoot. And Tally escapes pretty much unharmed. And got a full modded proton torpedo into the Theta 3. Yeah, I don't see a way that could have gone better for resistance. Maybe you don't lose a shield, but that's the only thing that happened that round to resistance. And now Finn's just gonna run away. And Poe and Zori are gonna come in. ZZ's gonna flank, get a nice procket, or just range 1 shots. And Tally is going to run away as well. I mean, there's only one option that Kylo can do, and that's to either continue on the flank and let Tally leave, or try and get to Tally, but Tally can do almost anything and just be okay. You really needed to roll some paint with Theta on defense. I think if you're FO, I don't know what you do, because you have to turn in. Hmm. Yeah, FO's in a really hard spot because they have to turn in, but there's a really high chance that Poe and Zori are just able to delete Backdraft and knock off the only crate they have. And then ZZ can and Tally can just run away and turn around behind the FO ships and get flanks. And Kylo's not in a great position to turn in on anybody, especially not with Scorch in his face. Because we're gonna probably see one banks from Kylo and Zori. Finn might coordinate Poe this turn because Poe used his ability last turn. Although he can't because Poe's stressed. Never mind. We might see him coordinate Tally then, like an evade. Because that way, even if Kylo jams you, you then had the evade on you and you can still take the focus action. It's kind of just reassurance to not get stuck in a tokenless Zori or Tally against a Kylo. There's the 2 bank. Or 1 bank. Yeah, 1 bank. I don't know that you're really worried with Finn. Giving Tally that extra action depending on where she's going would be nice. So it is going to do the coordinate. We could see the coordinated boost, and maybe that would have blocked Scorch too. That'd be kind of nice. Oh, coordinating the evade into the boost. Nice. The link to action. Scorch does still fit, but maybe you block Kylo here. Backdraft going fast. Scorch turning in. This looks like it's gonna probably be all in on... Ooh, the sloop by Kylo. This isn't pattern analyzer Kylo, so he just gets a stress. ZZ on the flank. You can just boost focus and be fine. They don't believe you have bullseye? No. One Bink by Zori. You have your option. You can either shoot your second plasma and go for the kill on the other Theta, which that's what it looks like he'll do. I like that decision because you have an extra shot with Zori into her at range 1, or I mean ZZ. But going into the only crate carrier isn't bad either. I think you have a less chance of killing backdraft than you do of Theta because you have one extra shot into Theta. Do we see the barrel roll rotate? No reason not to, right? Yep, we'll do it. Yeah, I agree, Bender. ZZ is in a pretty nice spot to collect center, depending on where they go. Especially if that crate gets knocked off, then Metal can throw it way in the back towards her and she can 2-bank to the right. Poe focuses, giving Zori the focus. Theta can only reroll one of their attacks per turn. So that's why I thought the lock into Theta might be nice, because then you at least have the focus and the lock for the plasma, which has a higher chance of still doing damage. Or at least more damage, because she still has shields. Uh-oh. Not sure what that was. Going to load it back up and see what that was. Hit a cloud error. I'm not sure if that was on my end or their end. It looks like it hit both of them because they're restarting the lobby. Alright, looks like they have their lobby up. Let's see if I can join it now. believe it was hit crit from Poe into backdraft, and I think he was going to use the reroll, the mandatory reroll from Theta. Yep, there it is. Gets 2 hits, probably will spend the focus. No reason not to. If the plan is to kill, then there's no reason not to. I guess you're unlikely to kill him. Took a shield somehow. He gave him, he got his shield back. Alright, so it all got fixed. Kylo has no shots. You do have the range 1. I mean, just take the range 1, right? Because you have 3 dice versus 2 on 4. And if you get Theta to spend the lock, then, or I mean the focus, then that's amazing. And it helps your other guys. Yep. Chooses to go into Theta 4. Gets hit crit after spending the focus, which will regain the focus. You're ZZ, you can do that. Yep. Gets the focus back, and that'll be 2 shields onto Theta. And here's why I thought you might should have shot at her, because if that plasma had hit, there's a reasonable chance that she dies. Hit eyeball blink into Kylo, and Kylo's fine. Zori range 1 into backdraft, I would assume. Yep. Gets 3 hits. Takes 1 shield onto backdraft. Scorch will fire first. Does not have the bullseye on Poe or Zori, which is good. We'll take the stress to roll the 3rd dice. And I think you go all in on Poe here. Zori's tanky enough that you're probably not killing her with all those shots, but you might get lucky on Poe. Unlikely, but you might get lucky. We'll have to spend his focus to not take damage. That's a great roll in the Poe. And Poe will lose all his shields. So then we're going to see Theta 4 shoot. She does not have the Special Forces gunner, so she doesn't get the extra dice out the front. It'll just be 3, but she does have determination. So she can add the eyeball as she wants. It would half pointer, but depending on what you roll into Poe, it might be worth it. I mean, do it or don't. If you do it, you're guaranteeing half on Poe. Chooses not to add the eyeball. Right. So that will be half on Poe. And I believe that's all the shots because Finn is staring at nobody. Which will mean 1 more point for Shoko and 2 more for Metalbag. I think this is a pretty simple turn for FO. Scorch is just going to 2-bank, focus your SFs. Maybe you 1 straight with Theta 4 and just rotate. Worst case, they bump into you. Best case, I mean, I guess it would be best case they both bump into you and you just have range zeros. Worst case, they hop over you. But you can do the backdraft ability where you look front and back and then still get your two shots. I don't think the 2-bank, maybe the 2-bank right fits with Kylo. It's kind of close. Should put him somewhere right here. 2-bank left definitely fits, but then you're chasing Tally who can do whatever and be fine anyways. The bigger issue here is you're bleeding points on objectives. Not sure why it's not giving half for Poe. Should be giving half points. There we go. That should have fixed it. Yep, cool. I think Scorch either does the 2 hard or the 2-bank in, and if he 2 hards, maybe he can block the procket. If he 2-banks, I think he's accepting that there might be a procket on him. But you don't really have a choice. You need to do damage to these resistance ships. And his 2-bank to the right, I believe, hits that rock. I'm kind of in the belief there's a decent chance he will blow up. Scorch probably will die this coming turn. Depending on where the resistance ships move, of course, but hopefully you can get a nice 4 dice to 5 dice gun with him right before he dies. And if you're lucky, maybe he'll live. What I wouldn't hate to see though is the one bank barrel roll if it fits with Finn to the left, but he can't actually. He has the crate. Never mind. So I guess one bank and then focus. Or you can coordinate Poe. Yep. Coordinating Poe. Oh, the one bank. I'd be surprised if we don't see the rotate. Yep, there's the rotate. Another one bank. Focus rotate. Too hard in by Scorch. I think that if Poe does the one bank left here, Scorch is in a world of hurt. I do think there's a decent chance that you can kill Poe this turn though, based on where your FO ships are. Seeing the target lock by Tally. Are we going to see the boost right? We are. Did that give you arc? I think that's just out. It's pretty close, but I think it's either barely clipping the corner or it's just out. Poe for Scorch. Yeah, that's not a terrible trade, but the issue is he really, really needs to pick up another crate with one of the ships. Because you'll be killing Poe, which will give you 3 more points, but then you're going to be bleeding. You're going to be bleeding at least half, I think, on Scorch, which is 1 point, and then you're going to also be giving up 2 scenario points. See the stressful focus. Too hard in. Didn't line up a procket, but you have a nice. I mean, I guess you have a nice focus. Scorch doesn't have arc on you. Wonder where Poe is going then. I guess maybe the 4K? That 4K might throw him in front of Scorch's bullseye though. The Talon roll right wouldn't be terrible either. Kylo 1 hards, okay. Wasn't expecting that. Well, good luck, Poe, because Scorch is going to have a field day with you. And I think what's even worse about this is no one's shooting Scorch now. Your only hope is that Tally has Scorch in firing arc and then can do some good damage. At least when it comes to saving Poe. Seeing the range 2 into, I would assume, Theta. Maybe it's into Backdraft because he has the crate. Theta is not using the ability, and Backdraft is able to roll out of it. Yeah, Kylo could have been really punishing this turn. If he did like the 2 bank in, he could have had a decent chance to ionize ZZ. I think you shoot range 0 here with Zori because it's 2-on-2 versus 2-on-3 at the focus. And you're not gonna do any meaningful damage to Scorch, you're just gonna turn on Fanatical for him. If you do somehow hit. Yep, shooting the range 0. 1 hit. 2 evades. I think you just shoot range 1 just to see if you can't do some damage and get half on something. Decent chance. Spend your focus. Yeah, just spend it. Or is he making you reroll? Okay, so they're just gonna make him reroll the eyeball and the hit. Same result. And we'll take either 1 or 2. I think if you're Theta, you just take both because, I mean, you're already being halved anyways. Yeah, takes 2. Trying to figure out how to open up his front arc. Choosing just to rotate the turret. No shots, just out. That was very close. And here is the absolute banger by Scorch. He doesn't have to add the eyeball yet. But he will add that eyeball. And that'll be 3 hits and a crit going into Poe. Yep, there's the kaboom. Poe goes down. Spends the focus, but it doesn't matter. Oh, there's his other card. Threw one of his cards across the map by accident. Big swing for FO. And you still have 2 other shots to get half points or do some meaningful damage. Actually, 3 shots. You have 1 into Finn, then 2 into Zori, or ZZ. Oh, Shoko disconnected. Gonna let my timer reset at 21 now. Yeah, he is. I think Scorch is absolutely broken for what he is. 3-point ship that has double mods and has a procket, rerolls on defense if you're not stressed. Fanatical, so passive mods. You have passive mods, guaranteed mods with determination if you spend your shield or damage. You're spending your shield turns on Fanatical, then you can get a reroll with Merciless, and you get an extra dice. And then you have threat sensors for defense if you want to keep your focus. I mean, it's just one of the absolute best ships in the game for cost. And I don't think you're ever going to see an FO list that has real chances of winning without him. There might be like 1 or 2 ace lists out there, but I think if you're not bringing Scorch, you're not building an FL list correctly. The only thing that makes me mad about Scorch too is that they took it away. They took the procket away from Meryl. This is you add the blink and then heroic, but he doesn't have heroic because he took C3PO. Yeah. They couldn't let Meryl have fun, but instead they're gonna absolutely obliterate these poor other dudes. So this will be should be 4 out the back if I'm not mistaken, right? It's backdraft. Doesn't he get a 4th dice? I'm not sure what he was shooting at, but he got half points on something, I think. Oh, jeez. ZZ is dead. I think he was damaging. I heard the shields flip, but I didn't see any actual damage put on ZZ, so I was a little confused. That is a massive swing. Okay, there he goes. Just like that, FO is back in the game because Scorch carries every FO list ever in existence. He will still get 2 more points for objectives against the 1. 14-13. And if you're FO, I don't know that resistance can really put too much hurt on you now, because Zori's gonna have to one bank left, and then Finn is stressed and strained, so you know he's doing a one bank or a two straight. Finn's never seeing the fight again. It's partly why 3PO on him isn't my favorite. It's good for the double mods for the Protorps, but you limit his dials so much if you turn him away. But FO just sloops this coming turn, I think, because backdraft, you sloop down, theta, you sloop up, and nobody can shoot you. Scorch, I mean, you have with Scorch, you have your choice of turning in just to block Zori maybe, or get another. You could too hard, then roll right, and maybe get another absolute banger of a 5-die shot. And I paused my timer, it's at 16 minutes now. There we go. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that Backdraft should have rolled 4 into ZZ, because it was range 1, and it says, while you perform a primary turret. Oh, primary turret attack. Is it because it was the bonus shot that he doesn't get the extra dice? Because it's not a primary attack anymore. But I don't know, it's still a primary, it's like still your primary turret. Finn does the double calculate. Backdraft says hello, he's gonna focus rotate. Theta goes super fast. Actually, that Theta might have killed herself, depending on what Finn can do. If I'm Theta, I'm rolling left and backwards to try and get as close to Finn as I can, just to see if I can't push a single damage through. Because Theta currently doesn't even have Finn in arc, so can't force the rerolls on attack. But if you were to have rolled, you could have. Scorch, probably seeing the barrel roll. Yeah, it's just signifying which way he's rolling. I think you go all the way back. Or not. Okay, so it was a mistrigger. He should have rolled 4. I don't think it's a may. I think it is a must. Thankfully, it didn't end up mattering. Died anyways, but yeah, it's just a must. It just says roll 1 extra. Zori bumps. You have to, I mean, I don't know. Is it the right decision to stress focus? Probably not. Does not hit the cloud, and then you're gonna have to barrel roll to the right because that boost, I mean the boost doesn't fit, but you're also staring in front of a rock. If you barrel roll backwards and left, you should be able to get a shot with your proton torpedo onto Scorch. I think that you need to do that. Yep. Gets the proton torpedo turret, well, not turret arc, but gets the arc on him for the proton torpedo. And your first player, so you don't have to worry about Kylo at all because Kylo's stressed as well. Go all the way back. Thank you. If you can kill Scorch off some miracle. Yeah, Scorch did lose that shield. I don't know that I added that. Like, it's not a terrible chance to kill Scorch here. No point in rotating. Unless you want to have your turret facing forward this coming round. It's not terrible either way. It's too bad Zori can't do actions based off of the linked one, because if Tally could have boosted and then given Zori the boost to the right to get out of Scorch's arc, that'd be kind of funny. Scorch has no tokens, so you really need to kill him. The issue is Scorch has Fanatical, and if you don't kill him, he's just going to shoot Finn with everybody else. Because I think you have about one more round, and then the next round will be the last, just based on time. Nothing. Yeah, doesn't matter. He didn't roll anything anyways. Alright, Tally, now's your time to shine. Has range 2. We'll flip the second proton charge. Oh, that's a great start. And it gets even better. 2 hits, 2 crits going into Scorch. And he only gets 1 evade, so that's the end of Scorch. That's a huge, huge momentum swing for Resistance. They needed that. Goodbye, Scorch. You will not be missed. And then if he's able to hold on to this crate, this is the important thing. If Finn lives and holds on to this crate, it'll be 19 to 14 or 15. And all you need to do is not lose the crate on Zori, and you can even pick up one with Tally, and you would win the game. Going to give Finn the 3rd dice. I like this. I think he can at least, because it's just if you have him in bullseye, right? Yeah. And there's no reason not to, because no one else, she doesn't have any of the other 2 in bullseye, so no reason not to spend. I mean, you can add the eyeball. You add the eyeball. There's no point in spending not to be ionized. You just spend both. Spend both or don't spend any. Because otherwise you're straining yourself. Keep the calculate, yeah. No. Okay. He figured it out. He was like, oh, it's an ion missile? That's fine. Well, if it was the primary, he would have gotten 4 dice. Oh, no Finn. No matter what, he's dead. Right? Yeah, he's dead. He would have needed to... Yeah. So that's 3 points, and they're both going to get 1. The crate's going to go down. It's going to throw it safe. If you're FO, I think what you do here is you have 5 straight Kylo to pick up that crate. And then you have whatever her name is, Theta 4, do a 1 bank or something and pick up the 3rd crate. Because then you force resistance to have to fight you, and Tally's only 1 off half, so if she gets halved, the game's over anyways. And resistance's win con is, I mean, could just lose here. How's it? 3 dice? Has a focus, okay. No crits. Evades it. Yeah, I mean, I would say the proton torpedo on her is like overpowered, except that it's an A-wing, and half the time that forces her to fly with the group, and she's so easily, like, she's a very easily targetable ship. And then you're spending, what, 7 points on a proton torpedo effectively, because you're putting it with Finn, and Finn's only going to have a single calculate. So you're nerfing Finn to the ground just so you can get a double mounted proton torpedo that potentially you need to spend your focus on defense for anyways. And if you don't, then it's good proton torpedo, and then you die because you spent all your mods. That's not always how it works. That's just the way I see it. This will be the last round, though, unless they tie. I don't really know what you do with Zori. You just need her to get out of the way. I don't think her K-turn fits. Actually, it does. I think it does. Yeah, that K-turn fits. So you could just K-turn next to the rock and stay out of harm's way. Don't lose your crate. And then you need to get half on backdraft. If he's playing backdraft safe, he'll just 5 straight. I mean, going back to the proton torpedo, ZZ can take a procket and normally is really hard to kill because of her focus into evade or focus into focus after spending. But we saw her with all her shenanigans get absolutely obliterated by some some good FO dice and bad resistance dice because the A-wings just pop. You need Zori out of the way so Tally can do a 2-bank boost focus or something back in. And then you need to just pray to God that you get the shield on backdraft and you don't get halved yourself. One straight claim. There's the, what was that? That was only a 3 straight. Interesting. Focus, rotate forward. Oh, okay, that was just a misclick. Here's the position you're in. You can claim, but then you know Kylo is going to pick up the crate anyways. So you should just boost, focus, and go for half points. Because if you claim, Kylo's gonna do whatever he's gonna do, and you're gonna be down 2 points anyways. I mean, there's not another round after the. See, now all you're doing is you're gonna be behind on the crates anyways, and now you're giving up your focus boosts. If Kylo didn't go for that crate, I would be really surprised. Yeah, there he goes. I feel like I've been not upkeeping this very well. Two hits into 3 of 8s. No shot back. And see, now you picked up the crate, and you can't boost, and you were down anyways. So we'll see one more round. Mike, don't even get me started on poor Soontir, because I 100% agree that he should at least get Predator or Marksmanship. Or something. Something. Give him a toy. Please. Battle over Endor, Soontir is arguably a 6-point ship, and he's 5, and he's just amazing at everything and gets rid of locks. But I can't have Predator on the Bullseye ship named Soontir, the original one. Running to the corners, we're gonna see Backdraft run away, and then unless you get really lucky, I think. See, if you had your focus boost, you could have had 2 nice shots. But now Kylo's just gonna focus rotate. I mean, you can only focus. That's all you can do. You don't have another proton torpedo to shoot. You can't roll or boost. You have a crate. Three straight. Can't do anything. You check for a lock just because you can. Or we focus. And I think what we're going to see is the third ion missile, and if this hits, it's a guaranteed loss. 2 eyes. If you're Kylo, you just spend both force and the focus, right? You don't care if you get half pointed. You're the same cost as the other ship, and you have more crates. Okay, well, you have to spend your focus. You don't have a choice. Last shot of the game. You need to do 1 damage into backdraft with 2 dice unmodified against 3. You shoot backdraft anyways. You're not doing a crit into Kylo. He has 2 force. You just have to hope he rolls 3 blanks. And yeah. GG. Very close game. 21-20. Nerf herders will take it. 2-1 overall in favor of the Nerf herders this week. I believe game 4 will be played sometime later tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bender. And yeah, very close game. Thank you all for joining. I'll catch you all later.